welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylin. This is Full Purpose and Heart, and today's video topic is just a little chitty chat video with Kaylin as we talk in my classroom a little bit about the good and the beautiful, what I think about it, how I use it, and all the things. Today's video was actually inspired by a conversation I was having with a viewer over on Instagram, as well as a few comments back and forth that we had here in YouTube on the comment section. So I figured I got a lot to say. And if you know Kaylin, I never say anything in those like 1 minute clips that Instagram gives you or a couple sentences here on YouTube. I can have many more sentences. So pull up a chair, fold some laundry, get some things productive done, or don't, and let's just have a chat about the good and the beautiful. There is so much content and, dare I say, controversy around the publishing company, The Good and the Beautiful. They have been around now for maybe 4 or 5-ish years, I'm going to say. And I use them pretty much right off the bat because I love a beautiful curriculum. And when I first started using them, they've been through several revisions since then. So I have used some of their revisions. I've also, not used some of their revisions. So all in all, here is my opinion of The Good and the Beautiful. First and foremost, I don't like it, nor do I recommend it for a busy homeschooling mother. If you have only one child that you're homeschooling, The Good and the Beautiful may be a fantastic resource for you to use. Unfortunately for me, I was not introduced to The Good and the Beautiful until I was into my second child. And so my first child was obviously above her grade level, and it just became so complicated for me to dedicate the time that I felt was required for me to get that curriculum off the ground. Now, unfortunately, I cannot speak to the older grade levels. So if you are using some of their older grade levels in language arts or what have you, I can't speak to that because I only did the language arts kindergarten program. And at the time it was a green book. Maybe they've updated it, but at the time it was a green book. And I felt like first, the lessons were very long. So as the instructor / parent, I had to divide up each lesson to what days I wanted to cover what of that particular lesson. Since then, they have updated it, I do know. And so the lessons are far more manageable for a one-day activity. But at the time when I used it, it was still really clunky. I also have a problem with just how much reading in general that their curriculum has. In their science, which I've used, and I've tried to go back to their science many times, I find that I jump around and I eliminate or delete or whatever, like edit mentally what I end up reading to my kids and teaching my kids. We skip whatever suggested activity or experiment that they had because it's just too cumbersome or it requires too many supplies. And I know that there are better homeschoolers out there than me that see a supply list and are excited and invigorated by it, but I'm not that mom. If I see a supply list that's more than a few things, most of which I already have in my house, then the chances of me actually getting it done narrow quite significantly. So that was another problem that I have when people ask me, what is it about The Good and the Beautiful that you don't like? That's always the first thing that I say is I feel like it's very heavy on the reading and it's very teacher oriented or teacher directed. I like curriculums that are more student directed and student led, things that I can do in the beginning of our class together and then kind of send them off to do their level of work. We do history and science together as a whole family. And so The Good and the Beautiful, in theory, would be a really great curriculum to be able to do that with because it hits kind of all the grade levels and you can print out grade specific or level specific activity books, which we did when I did their human body this last year. But once again, I found that I was adding more to what I purchased with The Good and the Beautiful than I don't know, that I guess in the end it just made me shrug my shoulders. I guess it was a little bit of a wasted investment because they aren't expensive. Comparatively speaking, they are quite affordable, in my opinion. But when I invest in something, I want to use the majority of it. That's not to say that I'll use all of it, but I want to be using the majority of it and feel like, okay, yeah, that was a really good investment on my part. So this is probably like a record with how short my videos are, but I did want to throw in just a quick little opinion why I don't like the good and the beautiful. And those are really the two main reasons. So anyway, that's my 2 cents about that. The one thing, I know I keep saying I'm done, but the one thing that I will say, which is an unfortunate thing for me, I loved their books. So they were republishing old literature under them as the publishing company. So these are like clean books that are out of circulation or super difficult to find or impossible to find. And so they were republishing these literature works, and they were fantastic. I had 2 specifically, Lions in the Barn and Over the Hill to Nugget, were the 2 that I purchased, and I ended up making lap books for them because I love them so much. And I would highly recommend, I don't know if it's still going on, and I don't know when you see this video, it could be long gone by the time you see me, but I know that they're on clearance now because they've decided to discontinue publishing or republishing those books and are now focused a little bit more just on their curriculum arm of their company. So, all that to say, I have not ever done the Good and the Beautiful math, so I cannot speak to that curriculum, and I didn't ever do their history. So again, every time I went to either their science or their language arts, I just felt so like I was skipping so much, and then my kids would complain like, oh, do we have to do this? And there was a lot of games. Gosh, I know now I'm on a tangent, but they would suggest like games or activities that I just was like, I, myself, and my kids were like, I don't want to set a timer and read these flashcards again, you know? So I just feel like there was some better options to engage my kids in language arts. I've been posting a lot about language arts on my channel recently, so I think I'll throw together just a playlist so that if you want to go to the playlist, then you can kind of see all the stuff that I've been posting about language arts specific content that you can use if the good and the beautiful, if some of the things that I'm speaking about kind of nudge you in a way that you're like, yeah, I feel the same way. I don't know if that would be a good fit for my family. I don't know if I want to invest in that and then be disappointed or whatever. But there are obviously thousands of homeschooling people that love the good and the beautiful. There are influencers who love the good and the beautiful, and we'll talk about them on their platforms. I'm just one who I'm not going to dissuade you from using them. If you want to use them, that's fine. It works for a lot of people. But if you're wondering, why does Kaylin not use it? What doesn't work? Like, what are some cons? There you go. Thanks for watching. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful for you. I'm always in the comment section, so if you have something that you want to add, or if there's a topic that you want my opinion on, I'd love to have you over into my classroom. We can have a little chitty chat about things I like to chat about. If you're not subscribed to my channel and these kinds of topics interest you, I invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell so that you can get notification when new videos come up, because I've always got something to say over here on our side of the mountain. Have a good one.